Hey, I'm Java Bodhisattva, and I'll share with you my 10 tips for a software development career. I have been working as a software developer for over 18 years, and I hope you can take advantage from those tips. Without extending this introduction too much, let's dive right away to the first tip. Freelancing is something that took me a long time to realize it was important. When you work for companies, the most common way people will know whether you are a good professional or not is providing a person's name that worked with you. Preferably, someone that was in charge of you, like a lead, manager, director, etc., passing their contact and letting other recruiters call them so they can give you their feedback as a professional. But there are some problems with that. One of them is that people often leave companies, so sometimes that person who gave the contact information no longer works there. The other problem is that even if you leave the company with open doors, you left them, and that often creates a resentment. Sometimes small resentments, sometimes big. So when you freelance, usually you freelance for a short period, like 1 to 4 months. And besides the extra money you are making, that is very useful for paying bills, planning a trip, or even just monetizing, most freelancing websites let freelancers and customers review each other at the end of the project. So you build a reputation on those platforms. And if you eventually get fired, or just want to leave your job, you have a fast replacement backup that can be even a break from working your dreary 9 to 5. Another good point I see on freelancing, especially when you are a beginner, is that you are exposing yourself to new frameworks and technologies, and that adds up on your skill tool set. So whenever you get asked about other technologies, you can answer with confidence that you have professional experience with some frameworks and not only Hello World tutorials. Study constantly for interviews. In order to have the confidence to leave your job, if you feel that it is the right decision, study for interviews. That can never stop. The interviews are getting harder and harder along the years, not necessarily to test the things that you are going to perform on the everyday tasks, but as a way of filtering the candidates that are better prepared than the others. Luckily and hopefully, you'll find interviewers that really ask for the things that are solid, as the foundation and core aspects of the language that you told in your resume that you master. Questions about the framework you are going to work with, the database that you have experience with, SQL, NoSQL, the cloud infrastructures that you have experience with, questions about your knowledge and repositories, continuous integration, if you know other programming languages, questions about good practices, data structures, design patterns that you are familiar with, HTTP protocols, REST APIs, GraphQL. This is a trending one nowadays. I mean, the list is big. You gotta be prepared for any of those topics if you really want to excel on your interview. Be prepared. Hey, you never know when a crisis might strike the world. Only the most prepared will get into the funnel first. Get interviewed frequently. Is there a best way to test your software interview knowledge than to get interviewed? You'll fail at some, but guess what? You'll know what this company wants for the next time you get interviewed, or even for the other companies you apply to. Some interview processes usually present training questions by the time frame you're applying for the job. Other interview questions travel time. I've been asked the same questions over and over whenever I wanted to change jobs. Let's say 2 years after and 5 years after, the same questions were asked. Sometimes even more. I'll give you some examples. What is object orientation? What is polymorphism? Is Java pass by value or pass by reference? Draw on the board a singleton class, do a bubble sort. I mean, I lost the count on how many times the same questions were asked. Some questions can be hard if you are not prepared, so be prepared. Participate on as many interviews as you can. This will give you a thermometer on what are the training questions for the period you are thinking about applying. Help the beginners. Always find some time to help the beginners. I remember how bad it was to be a junior or a trainee, and the more experienced professionals didn't want to help, or were too busy to help, or even gave detriment comments about you behind your back. Yes, my friend, the workplace can be cruel. Welcome to the jungle. So, you as an awakened one, help the beginners as much as possible. Of course, if they deserve your help. If you see that they want to learn, they want to work hard, and help the team, build this guy or girl up. You will see that not only you will have a right hand on your team, but this guy will always remember you as a good professional example. I do have some people that I looked up to, and they believed and helped me even when I wasn't fully prepared. They helped me smoothly and constantly to increase my technical and professional skills. So, if you have the opportunity, help a deserving beginner colleague. Get certifications. Now, this is a topic that generates discussion among the developers. Some developers that don't have certifications despise the ones that do have. I always found that some of those that don't have the certification hold a resentment for the ones that do have. The certifications that are worth having are time consuming. You have to pay for it. The price range can vary a lot. They are tricky, usually long, boring, and you have to sit your butt on the chair for a long time in order to master the required topics. You will need to read books and do a lot of software simulations. Luckily nowadays there are good software simulation options that if you do practice and you are succeeding above the required percentage to pass, you can go and take the exam and you will have a big success rate probability according to the developer reviews, colleagues of mine, and also my previous experience. This is the one certification simulator that I recommend and has helped me in the past. You can click on the video details and find out more about it. Expose yourself. LinkedIn is not enough nowadays. Anybody can create a LinkedIn profile and add whatever information they want. You need to expose your skills in a proven manner, on a way that people can access your content, validate, and take their own conclusions. If there is a career opportunity, or even a business opportunity, you will start ahead if you take action on the following steps. Present at the company you work for. The following story has happened to me before. I was already 1 year at the outsourcing company I was working. For those who are not familiar with outsourcing, it is a type of company that hires you to work for their clients. And if this company has many clients, you have the opportunity to rotate between clients after a certain period of time. I was working for one client, and the client always gave great feedback about me. I was happy with my work, and the client was happy with my work. My manager at the time was performing annual reviews with the team, and he started giving me feedback about the client, asking how I felt at the company, blah blah blah. And he told me that I was going to have a salary increase, which I wasn't even expecting anything. But the salary increase was so low that it was almost an outrage. After taxes, I wasn't even able to buy a dinner with a salary raise. So I questioned the manager about the salary ranges, and he told me that 1. My salary was already peaking for the position, technical lead by the time, and 2. The client was very happy with my work, but people at the outsourcing company did not really know me, meaning that I don't share my knowledge. Guess what? He had a point. I was so focused at the client that I didn't find time to make some presentations, which would help the other developers improve their skills. So, share your knowledge with the company you work for. It will be highly appreciated. Start a teaching channel. After that meeting, some ideas popped on my head, and I thought, why just share my knowledge with the company if I can share with the world? Choose a topic that you enjoy to start with, and start building a presentation. For software developers, nothing better than recording your desktop while you code and narrate what you're doing. The software that I use for that is this one. You can click on the video details and find out more about it. You will start improving your communication and presentation skills to another level. After the first videos you create, you will build a momentum, and as a result, you will be doing better videos faster. This will increase your exposure on the tech industry. Your name is your brand. If you don't have a company, a startup, or a product you sell yet, invest in your name. Get out of the shadows. Show your face to the world. It takes balls to handle the criticism, the haters, the people that wish they had started before you, but after a while, you'll build a community of people that are inspired by you, that enjoy your teachings and insights, that cherish your knowledge, and are willing to help you keep delivering great content, either subscribing to your channel, liking your videos, visiting your websites, asking for help, becoming partners on any project or business. Work on the best companies. Now, the best company is a subjective topic. What is the best company? A company that has the best salaries, that gives you breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, that has the best coffee machines, game room with ping pong, video games. A company that has a gym or even pays you a gym membership, but in exchange for all that, you are locked at that company for the whole week including weekends, what people often call the golden chance, without time to see your family or friends. Or on the other hand, a company that treats you well, pays you on average to above salary, that provides you with the trust and freedom to work from home, so you can avoid commuting every day, and you can have a pleasant work-life balance. Now, my take from this is that you will never know how the company really is without having the daily experience of working with them. You can listen and read reviews as much as you like, but that will give you just an average thermometer. And guess what? How trustworthy are those review sites? Are 100% of those reviews accurate? I really don't think so. So go have the experience for yourself. Apply to the company, work there, and share your experience with the world afterwards. One thing is certain, if you work for a top-level company, nobody can take that from you on your resume, and that is often a way that recruiters view their candidates, looking at their past jobs and how long did they spend there, to make a conclusion whether you're stable or not, if you are resilient and overcome adversities or not. Change companies. It's always a cycle. You prepare yourself for the interviews, succeed in some, fail in others, and finally you accept a salary that will be the exchange for all your energy and time of the week. You do your best to excel, especially in the beginning, doing some ramp up on the weekends, paying attention to every single detail, to start being productive right away. But guess what? In some companies, not gonna say good or bad companies, let's just say not the right for you, things just don't work out. And it is not one problem or two. There are some mindsets that you just can't fix. You can try to persuade using the most effective soft skills, try being rough and assertive, try creating relationships and lots of training techniques. Trying to change the company's mentality is not always the way to go. I've been there several times. But it is kind of interesting to know that after so many mistakes, things went south for some of them. But who am I to say I told you so? Travel more. Be a digital nomad. Traveling for work is something that also took me a while to start doing. It is scary at the beginning. You are leaving your home country to work in another country that you are not familiar with the culture. The rules are different. Sometimes you don't master the speaking language yet, but all of those are great opportunities to learn about their culture, to see firsthand if they are friendly or more serious, to see if you enjoy the country as a whole, if you would actually live there for a while, for life, or even not wanting to live there anymore. And some countries are so big that even changing from an east state to a west state, or north to south, can be a tremendous wide-opening experience. And as far as the language of another country, you will have the opportunity to practice every day. You will pick up their slangs and you will blend in faster. Somebody once asked me, if you want to travel to other countries, why don't you save money and travel on your vacations? I told this person, why not travel and getting paid for it? Besides that, you will meet places and insights that tourists will not have the opportunity to meet on their 7, 15 or 30 days annual vacation. There are lots of companies willing to relocate and sponsor visas for you and your family, but if you want to be the chosen one by these companies, you have to follow the previous steps I mentioned in order to expose yourself and succeed on the selective process. You might even meet the love of your life out there. Give it a try. Build a business. Building a business is not for the weak-hearted ones. It takes planning, strategy, effort, connections, exposure, soft skills, and much more. You might not succeed at the first attempt, nor the second, nor the third, but you will always learn things along the way, that in the next business, you won't commit the same mistakes. Common mistakes are trying to embrace all the tasks. There is a reason why companies have people specializing in their departments. If you try coding a software, selling products, performing the accounting, calling and answering the supply chain customers, all of that at once, guess what? You will half-ass everything. There is no time available in a day or a week to do it all by yourself. Find partners. If the company has no revenue or investment, find people that are willing to be part of the company and do their share in exchange for a percentage of your company. Sell the idea to people that you trust and are very good at what they do. If you are a 9-to-5 worker and save money to support yourself and the company you are creating for let's say 1 or 2 years, multiply that by 2 or 3. You will have expenses that you didn't plan, and will end up spending much more than you thought. And if your company takes longer than you planned to start paying its own bills at least, you will soon be forced to close the doors and go back to the 9-to-5 job. It is frustrating, you will have to start from scratch all over again, but even failing, you will never feel more free in your life. Find investors. Don't waste your hard-earned money. People have money to invest. And if you have a good idea and a good plan and have the skills to sell to a board of investors, you will be able to orchestrate your company with the guidance of people that failed and succeeded several times. When we have an idea, we are usually very optimistic that we will never fail, and we don't want to share our gains with others. That's great and brave, But many people also fail at thinking like that, especially if you don't have a rich environment to back up your failures. So sometimes it's better to share the gains with a group than not to have gains at all. That's it. This wraps up my tips for a software development career. It will be quite a ride, but it can be a very enjoyable ride, especially if you learn with the mistakes of more experienced professionals. I hope you have great success on your journey, and I'd love to know how you are doing at your career. If you are just starting, if you are on the journey, or if you are a seasoned professional, write down your thoughts at the comment sections below. Many people will be able to benefit and learn from your experience.